Welcome and hello to all the community of YouTube. This is going to be a series of mine starting on this channel. This is more of like a social experiment on a hobby I used to have in middle school, but I'm just for right now it seems like everything is on YouTube. So I'm going to be showing you how to use and play and show you Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Alrighty, so let's get started real quick. This is stuff from when like I said, during my middle school. I have a lot of these stuff because a lot of my friends, they just stopped using it. So they just gave it to me. And yeah, so today I'm going to be showing you how to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. First of all, you don't need a field. I'm just showing you guys just for the sake of explaining. But this is the field. You don't, obviously, like I said, you don't have to use it. But for right now, just to show you guys, it would help if I showed you on this thing. So basically, this would be your field. This would be where you put your deck. So minimum 40 cards, right? Yeah. So please ignore the sound. It's just the water in the garage, sump pump. But yeah, okay. So your opponent has his field, right? And you have yours. This is where you put your deck, the deck zone, right? It says obviously, right? Like I said, 40 card minimum. Anything I would recommend over 60 is way too much. As you can see, so yeah, I'm gonna go through with the basically how it works. But basically, you put your monsters here, and you put your spell and trap here. So in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's basically three types of cards. There's monsters, there is, magic, and there is traps. So what that would be is, okay, monster cards you put in your monster card zone, either in attack mode or in defense mode. I'll get into that a little bit more. Magic cards, obviously you play and then they go to the graveyard. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, so right by your deck, right above it, after you play a card, it goes to the graveyard. So, like for example, I play a card, boom, it goes to the graveyard. By the way, I don't keep up with the rules with all the banned cards. You can look that up online. I'm just playing from what I know. Alright, then you have trap cards. So it's kind of simple in the sense that you play magic in your turn. Oh, actually, it's called spell because they kept getting it confused with Magic the Gathering. It's spell cards. So you play spell cards in your turn, and traps you set face down. This is called when you put a card face down. The terminology you set a card face down, and monsters you summon and whatnot. So before that, let me actually explain some more monster magic stuff like that. But going into it, so you basically know, if you know the field real quick, I don't think I need to explain it too much. Like I said, you here's the field again. You could ignore the last part because you don't always need that. I'll get into that in a second. But okay, so you put your deck here. After you play cards, they go into the graveyard. Your spell and trap right here, and your your monsters, either attack or defense mode over here. And then over here, I guess you don't really need to know, but that's where basically, this is your fusion deck if you have fusion monsters. More on that later, but a lot of people don't. Fusion or synchro or extra or whatever. And your field card. Certain spell cards are field cards, so you would play those there. But more on that in a little bit too. So let me start off by an explanation of the cards. And I'm going to try to keep this simple. So alright, so this is your field. Here's your deck, right? Okay, I'm just gonna, for the sake of us learning, I'm just gonna put them up face up just so I see. Alright, so at the start of your turn, I'm gonna explain how the game actually works, but before I explain the game, I have to explain the cards. Okay, so you would draw cards from your deck, but here is a monster card. Alrighty, this is Kamori Dragon. I want you to note everything on the card real quick. Alright, so on the card right there, there's the name. Hopefully that's coming out without a blur. There's the element, like this one is dark. There are the stars, so this one has 4 stars. On non-effect cards, right, it just has a description which is kind of unnecessary. By the way, you can just look up this. Just do a Google image search on any Yu-Gi-Oh card, you'll see it. There's attack points and then there's defense points. Yeah, so like for example, so note every little feature on the card because everything is important. Okay, so the element is dark. That comes into later with field cards, equip cards, and other effects. He has 4 stars. Anything under 4 stars, you can summon or set. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. You could just do it without any tributes. Anything higher than that, you will need tributes. I'll get that into a sec. I'll get there in a second. The next thing is the type. Like for example, this Komori dragon is a dragon. It says that right here. Again, that comes later into effect. There's different types of monsters. So the attribute is dark. The type is dragon. And then you have the description. Effect monsters have their effect here, and then attack and defense. So you only look at the attack when it's in attack mode. You only look at the defense when it's in defense mode. And attack is this way. Defense you put this way. And you can only you summon and face up attack. You set and face down defense. You put that like this. So yeah, that's how you do that. Here's an effect monster. I guess Wall of Illusion again. Attribute dark, 4 stars. She has a higher defense, 1850. So you'd most likely set her. Like a set, like I said, you would put in face down defense position. Yes, you can do that. Another type, here's another effect monster, Mask of Darkness. Interesting thing about him is he has a flip effect. Yeah, flip as in when something, like for example, you set him, I'll get into that a little bit later, but when he's attacked, or if you flip summon him the next turn, like you set him this turn, and next turn you decide to flip summon him, you get to activate his effect. Just take a trap from your graveyard. A lot of these have effects. Another good flip effect monster is like Man-Eater Bug. He gets to destroy a monster if he's flipped. So boom, if he's attacked, boom, you know. Or if you flip summon him, if he's attacked, or if you flip summon him, you get to destroy a monster. That's his effect. And then, like I was saying, all these cards so far have been 4 stars or less. Luster Dragon right here. He is 6 stars. So that means he's over 4 stars. He needs a tribute. 5 to 6 star monsters require a tribute. So, like for example, I would have to. You only get to summon or set once per turn. I'll get into that, all the phases, maybe the next video. But just real quick, I'm trying to explain the type of card. So you tribute, like you tribute this guy, send it to the graveyard. Whatever it is, the graveyard, right? And this is supposed to be upside down too. Sorry about that. But yeah, to summon Luster Dragon. And your graveyard's face up, by the way. So yeah, that's how you tribute summon. So we went through the monsters, we went through the field. I'll get into Magic and Trap right now. So basically, monsters above that require tributes. Maybe I'll finish up the monsters. Okay, so there's some other type of monsters. But for example, Luster Dragon required 1 tribute. So it required 1 monster to go to the graveyard. There are cards that require, like here's another monster that requires 1 tribute, like Summon Skull. 6 stars, you have to tribute to get him onto the field. That tribute Mask of Darkness, I summon him. And usually tribute monsters are more powerful or have more powerful effects. For example, there's monsters that if they're 7 to 8 stars, like this right here, Big Koala, it's 2700, he requires 2 tributes. So I would sacrifice these 2 monsters to summon him. So right now I got powerful monsters on the field, but the game's not all about power, it's also about skill. So let me quickly finish up the monsters. There's also another type of monster called a fusion monster. These fusion monsters, like I said, do not go into your deck. These are in your fusion deck or synchro. I'm not too sure what those new things are. But yeah, they actually go into your fusion deck. You don't have to worry about that. Most people don't even use those. But to do that, like for example, Saint Joan or whatever, the 2 things to require to summon it are, the Forgiven Maiden and Mary the Fallen One. So you would play a spell card with these together, like Polymerization, whether they're in their hand or field. I'll get in that in the next video, hopefully. And then you can summon Saint John. Again, a little bit more powerful card. But so far we went through the field and monster cards and the different types. Normal monsters, effect monsters, flip effect and those effect, and yeah, fusion monsters. So monsters and field. Next we'll go through spell, trap, and then I'll explain to you how the turns work and how you duel. Peace.